Welcome. This is Shakti Carola Navran, your online astrologer. I live on Maui, so I do most of my work online. And I'm very passionate about astrology. That's why my main intention is to educate you, to teach you about the astrological principles. So when we look at a chart, at a birth chart, we look at the beginning moment of something. And it's like the beginning of the seeding moment gives us all the information what is going to happen. Is that a seed of an avocado tree, or is it a seed of a tomato plant? So same with astrology. When we make a chart for that beginning moment, it tells us the whole potentiality of what's possible in the whole range of what we call low-end possibilities and high-end possibilities. So my intention with astrology is to give you that choice, and that choice is solely rooted in our consciousness. So if you know what the whole range of possibility is, I'm sure you will make better choices in your life, and with that you will be able to thrive and live more fully and more happily. And don't we all want that? Hi Diane, good to see you. So as you can tell, I'm standing to make it easier on my back. So anyway, we're having a pretty nice week ahead of us. So a little bit about me for the ones who don't know me yet. I do counseling astrology, and I do that from what we call an evolutionary perspective, which looks at all those potentials available to you from the soul perspective. And I'm also a teacher, so I've put together an introduction into astrology, evolutionary astrology. So for people who really want to learn astrology and get the bug and are as passionate and inspired as I am, connect with me about that. Okay, so my sun is in Taurus, very end of Taurus, almost in Gemini, with a Gemini rising. So Taurus is very practical, grounded. Gemini is talking, is a communicator, is a storyteller. So I would say you can see that in me. And my Mercury, which is the ruler of the chart, is in the 12th house, also in Taurus, also very practical, very grounded. And in the 12th house, I'm kind of bringing in the information from those other more non-physical dimensions and make them practical and applicable for you. So, and that goes with a moon in Aquarius in the 11th house. So I'm a weird one. I'm crazy. I'm a professional astrologer. I mean, it doesn't get more colorful or weird than that. So I would love to hear what you guys have Sun, Moon, Ascendant, if you know it. If you don't, you can always get your free chart if you go to my website, Maui Astrology Reading, sign up for your newsletter. First of all, I can keep you in the loop with all the forecasts and replays and things I'm doing. Also, you will get your free chart with a Love Stone report, which gives you your personal true birthstone for your heart, for your Venus position in your chart. So I'm also an expert with healing with gemstones and balancing aspects in your chart. So there is a gemstone profile available, but the Venus stone is free for you, so you want to check that out. Okay, so my intentions for these weekly forecasts is first of all to prepare you for the week, but also I like to have a meaningful conversation. So I have to resist the temptation to get carried away into the astrological bubble. So I really try to translate those astrological archetypes and principles and potentialities we are looking for in the coming week into something meaningful and so into something practical. So please give me feedback how well I'm doing and what you really would like to hear about. So this is really meant as a conversation. That's part of why I'm doing it live, which is much more stressful than doing it the normal way where you can still edit things. Because I want to create long-term what I call the astrological tribe. And I really get a kick out of it that people come from all over the world. And I really love that. So, okay, so also my way of using astrology is I don't want you to feel put in a cage. So I'm not a fortune teller. I don't do predictions because the future is not set in stone after all. So the whole point with astrology is that you have an idea what that seeding moment, that quality of time is. So you can do something useful and consciously with what is available to you. So we will look today at the moon moving through 4 signs, mainly in the coming week. So moon enters Leo first, and Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. So the moon transitioning through different signs gives us insight about our emotional set point, gives us insights about how we filter the world emotionally. And our emotions are kind of in the belly of the wave. Remember, we have talked about the wave before, the top of the wave being our consciousness. The 90 to 95% of the wave is unconscious, is the belly of the wave. So following the moon around throughout the week kind of opens you up, widens the top of your wave, your consciousness. So you are more conscious in going out, and sometimes you won't take things as personal. So the signs Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio are the signs where there is a lot aimed towards interactions, towards relation and connecting with the other. So I strongly believe that we are relationship beings. So people who are not in any kind of relationships, friendships, don't have a pet, they really are living a very lonely and difficult life, because our whole movement, our own orientation is towards the other. So the moon this week is all about relationship and how we navigate them. And especially around relationships, there is a big tendency to just react, to just replay from this emotional set point of our wounds, our childhood memories, our conditioning. And whenever we just react to a situation, there is not much freedom there. So astrology, as I use it and look at it, is really about having choices, is really about how you navigate what life throws at you to the best of your opportunity, your possibilities. So when we talk relationships and our needs we have in the world, I do believe a lot of it is based in knowing our own self, and then the ability to express that and stand up for ourselves, and doing that in friendships as well as our intimate relationships. And these are 2 crucial parts to make any relationship work. So Tony Robbins, I love Tony Robbins, and he talks about the 6 human needs. And I want to throw them in today for you because I think they relate very well to what to expect this week. So the first human needs he talks is about security. So we can all relate to that. What's going on in the world nowadays, it's very scary. So we feel challenged and threatened in our sense of security. So we could say it's really basic human need. So you know you have a roof over your head, you know where your food is coming in the next week. So it's very, very basic. We all have that need. Then the second one, which kind of counterbalance the security need, he calls the need for variety. So we have to find a way to balance out that need for security and repetition and habituation with allowing new things coming into our life. So then he talks about the third human need as the need for love. So here you see the connection to the relationship-oriented week. So we all need to have a sense to feel a connection, to feel love, to feel loved, to feel appreciated and honored for who we are. And then he talks about the fourth human needs as significance. So we all have a need to feel significant, to feel good about something, to be appreciated and reflected back for who we are in the world. And of course, we all have different strategies how to meet that need, but I think it's a good general perspective. So then love is counterbalanced by the significance, so that was the fourth one. And then he talks about the fifth one as a need for growth and the need for contribution. And I really like that he added that in, because it really connects to the idea of the wave. The wave is not disconnected from the ocean. The wave is part of the ocean. So our need to feel that connection and to grow into more conscious layers of our individual wave, and to connect with the other waves in the ocean. And when we do feel connected with the other, then of course we want to treat the other well. Then of course we want to express love and contribute and help others. So I think it's kind of interesting that he puts in growth as a human need. So of course, when your sun is in a Mercury dominated sign like Virgo or Gemini, or if you have Sagittarius, a strong Sagittarius, then learning and growing is really in the forefront. But I do believe that for all of us, it's so important that we feel we are not going stagnant. We keep moving and growing. And I believe astrology is a wonderful way to do that, because it always brings you back into the present moment and dealing with the present moment as conscious as possible. So that's why I'm doing all this. So if you want to support me, please like and share this video, and make sure that I can keep you in the loop, that you become part of the astrological tribe here. Okay. I saw a movie yesterday, and there was a physical therapist in it, and she said the biggest challenge in aging is not the physical limitations and aches and pains, but the loneliness of old age. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, she really has a point, because when we getting old, people we have been friends with might move away or might die, or I watch in my own aging process that my energy is much more inwardly oriented. So the idea is that in order to really age gracefully, we do need to make sure we are embedded in a circle of friends, in a group of people who are like-minded. And it does take effort, and it does take time and intention. So this week is a good week to kind of flex your muscles, to kind of get an idea how you can do that. Yeah, Diane, the sixth human needs was contribution, and the fifth was growth. Okay. So in my perspective, astrology really offers a lot of help in that it is a spiritual journey of self-reflection and self-realization. And So kind of staying conscious with what's going on right now in the heavens, with the celestial energies, the celestial waves breaking. These forecasts give you a lead in. And of course, then you have to be aware where it happens in your chart. So like when the moon is in the sign where your sun is, sun and moon kind of being the luminaries, the yin, the yang, the consciousness, the belly, the feelings. So that's always a wonderful time to bring those opposing forces together and to have that feeling of completeness and balance. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you have been following me for a while, you know that the moon astrology really has a lot of dimensions. It's a fast transit, yes, but a very powerful in that moment. So when we have any particular events out there in the world happening, it's always interesting to have a look at the moon and what it just triggered. So then when we do a chart for the beginning of something, we want to look at the void of the moon, which is when the moon leaves one sign and before it connects with any aspects with a different planet. It happens at some point when it's in the next sign. So this is kind of a void where not much is happening. So you don't want to start any kind of activities in that void of moon, which is happening every 2.5 days. So it's really helpful to keep an eye on that, so you don't start something which is important for you, like launching your website or signing up for something, because with the idea with the void of moon is that it doesn't go anywhere. The energy is kind of in a vacuum. So that's part of moon astrology. So yeah, I hope I give you enough tidbits, ideas, little inspirations to get you as inspired as I am with astrology. Okay, let's get to the specifics. So today the moon is opposing Pluto. We started out the week, I think on Monday, with moon squaring Pluto. So whenever moon is connected with Pluto in whatever heart aspect, moon, our inner vulnerabilities, our inner world of feelings, being in a forceful, strong, hard connection with Pluto, the god of the underworld, the god of extremes, of death and rebirth. So you can imagine that our inner world kind of gets the influx of that strong intensity. That's a moment in time where we might overreact, where we might feel not good enough. So Pluto always brings up into the consciousness what we fear the most, a deep inner soul wound maybe. So moon connections with Pluto are always kind of interesting and to keep an eye on, to just watch what happens for you in your life when that's happening. Because we already had the moon opposing, squaring Pluto at the beginning of the week, my feeling is for today it's kind of more like an integration. We already started the week out with having to look at something, integrate something emotionally deep inside of us. So today it's more like we might revisit a theme, but it's more on the side of integration, what is available for us. Okay, Monday the 1st, big day, because the moon enters Leo at 6:12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's preparing for the new moon the next day. And Leo is a sign of fire, is creative, self-expressive, it's sensuous, is when we have a lot of Leo planets in our chart, Leo invites us to learn about, yes, being in the spotlight, being an entertainer, shining our own light, but it's also about our ability to have fun, to know what to do in order to enjoy ourselves. And it seems like that's something we all want and like. We want to be joyous and expressive, but of course we all carry those limitations and those wounds, so it's not always so easy. Like, for example, I grew up in Germany, the country of the hardworking people. So and I grew up with the idea of first you do the work, then you have fun. So I have been self-employed my whole life. So for me, it was kind of really a challenge, because I was conditioned to work hard and do this and then do that. So when you're self-employed, there's always more to do. So I have the tendency to not get the joy, to not have the time or energy available at the end of the day to really take care for that part in me which needs to feel joyous and have fun. So that's my particular challenge, and I'm sure some of you can relate to that. So with the moon entering Leo, it's an invitation for all of us to figure out what to do for joy. What do we have available to us? And focus on that. That's what's gonna get stronger then. Then Tuesday the 2nd, the new moon is there. So new moon in Leo, and at 1:45 p.m. So the new moon is always a new beginning. It's more like a very special opening and channel connecting us to the sign the new moon is happening. So it's kind of the starting point for the whole next 29 days or something. So it's especially strong around the new moon. So I would say a couple of days around the 2nd, the energy is the strongest, and you want to know where that's happening in your chart. But then that particular starting point here in Leo is kind of evolving and integrating into your journey throughout the months. So then with the full moon, there's a heightening of the energy, fullness of it. So the new moon is really that starting point. And as I said in the beginning, in astrology, we really pay tight attention to those qualities of a beginning moment. So this is a quality of the beginning of the month. So I have made a video for you on my YouTube channel, and you can find it on this page as well, where I just talk about the new moon in Leo and what to expect and how to be with it the best way. So that's happening Tuesday the 2nd. Wednesday the 3rd. So the Leo moon is conjuncting Venus. Venus still in Leo. So we have 3 planets in Leo: Venus, Moon, and Sun. So Moon is one of the feminine principles in astrology, the archetype of the mother. Venus is the goddess of love, harmony, and beauty, is the other feminine archetype. So you can imagine if they come together, they merge the energies, that's a moment in time where there is a very feminine, receptive, magnetic quality available to us. So I think roughly we could say the feminine energy archetypally is about magnetism, receiving the world. And the male principle, symbolized by the Sun and Mars, is getting out there, doing something, taking action. So of course that's kind of general, but it gives you an idea how to perceive the principles. So Moon conjuncting Venus is bringing together that inner set point of being able to attract into your life what you want, what you need. So it could be you meeting somebody of interest. If you're single, that might be really interesting. But remember, I said the whole week is about connection, is about social interaction. And so Wednesday is a good day to make that possible. Go out, be available, If you don't have any specific plans, then you can at least go and have a coffee at Starbucks. But don't sit just in front of your iPod or iPhone. Keep your eyes up. Invite for connection. Okay, so Thursday the 4th, Moon enters Virgo at 12:34 p.m. all Pacific Standard Time. So while the Leo moon was really about being the entertainer, showing up, expressing your own self, your own individuality, trusting that you have something to give. So now with some, hold on, where was I? Moon entering Virgo. Virgo is a sign of service. Virgo is where we get a lot of satisfaction out of being useful, out of contributing. And remember, we talked about contributing before. It's a human need inside of our soul. So with the moon in Virgo, this is a good time to really connect with that more deeply. So how can you be a useful member of our worldly citizenship? So where in your life are you consciously contributing? Where in your life do you have the ability and the strength and the power and the courage to show up and do something for others? And I know we all have been there, and we know how good that feels. It really nourishes something in our own soul. So that's the moon in Virgo, the service coming from a place of connection. Remember the waves. We are truly all connected. So whenever we serve and help somebody else, or just giving a smile to somebody we don't even know, that goes a long way for our own feeling of connection and love and compassion. Okay, Friday the 5th, Venus enters Virgo at 8:27 a.m. So Venus is not as fast of a planet as the Moon, so it's going to be in Virgo here for a while. Again, Venus, a planet of love and connection. In Virgo, is a sign of service. So this is actually a really good whole month to really figure that out. And there's so many ways where we contribute and volunteer. I mean, you could go to your we have hospice here on the island. You can, if you feel drawn to that kind of deep, intense work, just being with somebody who's nearing that transition, that's very powerful, but probably more interesting for people who are older and more in touch with that life isn't endless, at least not in the body. Or you can volunteer in your local soup kitchen, or I think there's a website out there, something with back in it. So, I mean, there are really many ways. If you're looking for something, you will find something in your area. Okay, next Saturday, the 6th, Moon enters Libra at 9:57 a.m. and Venus is in Virgo, squares Mars in Sagittarius. Okay, so on one hand, we have a very relationship-oriented moon, emotional set point. Libra is the relationship sign. It's all about love and connection and beauty. And the shadow of Libra is that you, because you're so longing for a relationship, you do anything to make it work, which is not a very balanced place. So you need to know who you are, Aries, and what your needs are, and stand up for them first in order to make that particular dance possible. So, and then the Venus, the ruler of that Libra, is in Virgo and squares Mars and Sagittarius. So there's some friction there. So it might just show up with friction in your relationship, or you have a fight with a girlfriend or something like that. So just watch it and let me know how it played out for you. I really love to hear back from you and how my forecast plays out individually for you. I will monitor the comments throughout the week, so I always will get back to you. So keep me in the loop. That would be nice. Okay, then Sunday. Next Sunday we're going to get together again. So Mercury opposing Neptune and Moon squaring Pluto again. So we have some Pluto action. We already talked about Moon opposing Pluto. So here we have another initiation into taking that deeper look, feeling those deeper feelings. So I kind of like Moon-Pluto connections, even if they're not always comfortable, but they make me honest with myself. They give me deeper insights and access to dimensions which might be hidden otherwise. The Mercury opposing the Neptune. Neptune's a mystic. Neptune symbolizing that inner connection we have to something bigger than us, which I call the ocean. So Mercury, our intellect, our way how we perceive the world mentally. So Neptune in connection with that Mercury brings in a whole deeper, bigger reality and connection to ultimate consciousness. So if you're not a regular meditator, make sure on Sunday you meditate, because it's going to be easier. It's going to be easier for you to reach into the dimensions. You know, I'm an expert with gemstones, and to meditate with gemstones is actually a really wonderful way to go deeper and to balance your frequency, your energy field very fast. So if you haven't quite figured out what meditation practice you want to use on a more regular basis, check out gemstones. It's a beautiful way to connect with those perfectly balanced frequencies coming to us into our energy field through gemstones. So if you have some gemstones you want to work with, you can put them onto your third eye or onto your heart. That's a good way to tune in. If you have more crystals or other gemstones, you can put a real mandala on your body. And if you don't know much about gemstones, you could use a rainbow as a guidance. So the first chakra is connected to red and blue, and then orange, yellow, green, pink, blue, indigo blue, white and golden. So then you have an idea where which stone kind of resonates the most. So play around with it. That's a really wonderful way to connect more deeply into your inner ocean. Okay, you guys get ready for your questions. Yeah, I think otherwise I have covered what I wanted to talk about today. Okay, Anne and Diane, you have any questions? So you're so great with supporting me here with this live cast. Love it. Thank you. Thank you. So, well, if you don't have any questions, and you can always add them in your comments under, then I'm done. I don't want to keep you too long on your Sunday, but I think it's a wonderful way to get prepared for the week and connect with something deeper than we usually do. Yes, Diane, I'm glad to hear that. Me too. And all right, my dears, I hope I see you during the week in your comments and likes. Some of you are very faithful. Thank you, thank you. And and okay, Uranus is in my 5th house now. Can you give me some feedback? Okay, so we have 5 planets right now in retrograde. So retrograde planets are kind of revisiting degrees they have been in before, and that's kind of means that the energy is not going forward, it's kind of going backwards. So that is not a good time depending on how it ties into your chart, to move forward, to expect that things unfold nicely for you. So Uranus just turned retrograde on Friday. So Uranus, innovator, the rebel, the one who is learning about independence outside the mainstream. And Uranus in the 5th house means that in your birth chart, that in the 5th house you have to break some rules about who you are and your self-image and how you show up in life. So with the transit in the 5th house, that is activated, but it's not quite ready to be expressed yet. So it's more kind of like revisiting what it takes for you to not feel handicapped or limited in who you are and how you express yourself. So sometimes it's good to really consciously work with things. Like if you're scared of public speaking or you don't like yourself on videos. That's how I started out 3 years ago. It was very stressful for me to see myself on videos, and I thought I do this funny thing with my mouse, and so I had a lot of judgments. But dealing with editing and doing it again and again, it kind of builds that muscle of confidence. So that's what Uranus in the 5th house is again, building the muscle of self-confidence. But it will take till it gets forward again to really reap the benefits. So it's more like an internal process right now for you. That's what I believe. Okay, my dears. So I wish you a wonderful week, and I see you during the week. All right. Bye.